Joining us now is Oji Okpe with stories trending around the world. Ojinika, Jinex, you're smiling. How was your weekend?
Of course I'm smiling. You always make me smile.
How was your weekend? Good to see you.
is here. Good to see you too.
Yes.
You guys are both matching. Good morning to you.
Yeah, we got
Well, you have a bit of matchy going on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good, right?
Love it.
Yeah, this is your color.
Did I get that
That's more
right?
of a mustard.
It's not good.
No, it's mustard.
No problem.
But it suits you.
But you know, I'm blessed.
Victorious.
I'm sitting in the middle of two
Yeah.
highly successful,
Rufai is
beautiful,
the boss.
You are blessed among women. Yes.
great, impact-making women
Keep it coming.
that are raising champions, sons.
There you know, excitement
leaders.
has implications.
It has implications.
Get one and, you know.
You see,
Dr. Basi.
you started it.
Dr. Basi.
Good for you, Rufai.
Dr. Basi.
Good for you,
From your
Rufai.
mouth to God's
Amen.
ears. He's listening. And he will do it at
Yes,
his
we
time.
want the implications.
And
I want to
it's
come and eat jollof rice.
It's been a pleasure in my life learning so much from these two great women.
Yes,
Maybe that will help. Your search for the...
Okay, enough, Dr. Bati. We'll begin what's right.
Dear future wife, you will come.
All right, well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, Frances Haugen was revealed on Sunday in a 60 Minutes interview as the Facebook whistleblower who anonymously filed complaints with federal law enforcement that the company's own research shows how it magnifies hate and misinformation, which in turn contributed to the deadly January 6th invasion of the U.S. Capitol. In Germany, Chancellor Angela Merkel, in what is expected to be one of her last major speeches on Sunday, urged Germans to keep working for democracy as the country celebrated the 31st anniversary of the merger of the East and West. In Italy, investigators have launched a probe into what caused a private plane carrying 8 people to crash on Sunday into a vacant 2-story office building in Milan, killing all 8 on board. According to reports, the plane crashed shortly after takeoff from Milan's Linate Airport. In Algeria, the government has refused permission for France to fly military planes in its airspace and announced the recall of its ambassador from Paris in the wake of what it said were inadmissible comments attributed to French President Emmanuel Macron. Under sports, Super Eagles star Kelechi Iheanacho made his first Premier start of the season on a high note by opening the scoring for Leicester City in their clash against Crystal Palace on his 25th birthday on Sunday. Iheanacho became the 3rd Nigerian after Austin J.J. Okocha and Obafemi Martins to score in the Premier League on their birthday. Finally, under entertainment, 51-year-old supermodel Naomi Campbell stole the show strutting the runway for designer Lanvin to close out Paris Fashion Week on Sunday in a dramatic black cloak, rousing exciting applause from the audience. Well, let's begin what's trending in Nigeria with the request made by advocacy group, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, to President Muhammadu Buhari, asking him to withdraw conditions imposed on the operations of Twitter in Nigeria. On October 1st, social media was abuzz after President Buhari approved the conditional lifting of the ban on Twitter during his Independence Day speech. The president directed that Twitter's suspension be lifted only if the conditions are met to allow citizens to use the platform for positive engagement. Let's play back that part of his speech before we come back for a discussion.
Following the suspension of Twitter operations, Twitter Incorporated reached out to the federal government of Nigeria to resolve the impasse. Subsequently, I constituted a presidential committee to engage Twitter to explore the possibility of resolving the issue. The committee, along with its technical team, has engaged with Twitter and have addressed a number of key issues. These are A, national security and cohesion; B, registration, physical presence and representation; C, fair taxation; D, dispute resolution, and E, local content. Following the extensive engagements, the issues are being addressed, and I have directed that the suspension be lifted, but only if the conditions are met to allow our citizens continue to use the platform for business and positive engagements.
Well, SARAP has said that the conditions are an interference to the lawsuit filed by the group and 176 Nigerians at the ECOWAS court challenging the federal government's decision when the Twitter ban was placed back in June. They argue that if the conditions are not withdrawn, the development would seriously undermine Nigeria's international human rights obligations, including under ECOWAS treaties and protocols. Now, a lot of people are asking Rufai, I don't know, did I hear from you or somebody saying that they were able to tweet last night without the use of VPN?
I tried it. No, it didn't go through. Maybe that was just a slip. So
Okay.
it's the ban is still on.
Yeah.
Truth has to be said. When you look at the terms and conditions of the conditional lifting of the ban, it's as good as not even saying it's been lifted conditional. And I keep saying that Twitter is not the only platform people have used for hate. In fact, if you want to go as regards platform by platform basis, more hate has been spread on WhatsApp than on Twitter. More, very surgery rhetoric has been spread on WhatsApp than on Twitter. You cannot disconnect it from the fact that the president's tweet was deleted. That was what started all this brouhaha. And the truth has to be said. This is crippling businesses. This is stifling lives of people. We've lost count of how many billions of naira has been lost. They say Twitter should pay taxes. Are the other ones paying taxes? Is WhatsApp, Facebook, and the rest paying taxes? Is Cool, that launched after Twitter, paying taxes? We need to be fair to all. And that's why a lot of people keep saying this is just a reaction because Twitter deleted the president's tweets. And it's sad.
Right.
If you want to lift the ban, you can lift the ban and let the conversations continue. You can lift the ban and Twitter resumed work and put Twitter in a place and say, okay, I want you to do this. I want you to employ more local engineers. I want you to set up the office here in Lagos. I want you to do all of this. You can lift the ban and continue the conversation.
Right.
But putting the ban on and say, except those conditions are met, is as good as not doing it at all.
Yeah. Tundu, what do you make of the lawsuit that was filed by advocacy group SARAP asking Buhari to withdraw the conditions? Do you think it will make any impact?
Well, it might do. And I really want to commend Sarah
Yes,
because
as always.
even if it makes an impact or it doesn't, in the literal sense that we think, they do make an impact in putting these issues to the fore. SARAP and organizations like SARAP and the work that they're doing in this democracy cannot be overemphasized. I'm very grateful that they exist and that they're working. However, with regards to this story on this particular issue, chance would be a fine thing. President Buhari is not going to withdraw those conditions, unfortunately, because we do not have that kind of responsiveness from the government. We don't have that kind of accountability from the government. It's going to go on like this. And the points that you have raised, Rufai, with regards to just not having a level playing field.
Yeah.
Why is it one rule for this person and another for that? That's also a really important issue. But I don't think that President Buhari will withdraw those conditions as SARAP has requested, unfortunately.
So we still have a Twitter ban, Dr.
It's
Abati.
still on.
Well, there is no indication that even if SARAP succeed at the Community Court of ECOWAS, that the ruling of the ECOWAS court will be respected by the Nigerian government. We have many instances in which the Nigerian government has ignored that particular jurisdiction. That's the first point. But SARAP, at the level of legalese, in terms of his own request, is in order to say that if those conditions remain in place, it may be prejudicial to the cause of justice and to the rights of SARAP and about 170 plus others who decided to take the matter to the West African court. And here you find a contradiction. Nigeria is part of an international community, signed up to protocols, was one of those who set up the ECOWAS court, and yet the Nigerian government does not respect the rulings of the ECOWAS court.
Absolutely.
How about that for respecting the rule of law? The second point is that, look, I made a point earlier that if the president says that he has given the directive that if Twitter meets those conditions that we outlined, and those conditions listed in the president's speech, they are not new. Minister of Information Lai Mohammed listed those conditions about the time June 22,
yes,
when a committee was set up. 5 ministers of the Federal Republic and others were supposed to negotiate with Twitter. Twitter later, came forward and issued a statement and said that the negotiation with the Nigerian government has been fruitful and constructive and productive. Now, it's been over 100 days since that negotiation started, based on these same conditions. So, what is the productive end of it? How fruitful has the negotiation been? Because Twitter and the Nigerian government cannot go on negotiating forever. That is the most embarrassing part of it.
Very embarrassing.
The third part of it is that the president considered the Twitter issue important enough to put it in a 61st anniversary speech. I had 2 guests on This Day Live yesterday, and they said that's not a matter for Independence Day broadcast because it's a routine matter. However, having included it, the point is this: the president of Nigeria cannot give a directive that he's not sure of. Because a president of a country, whether it's Nigeria or Suriname or wherever, should not speak in vain.
I like that
So
point.
for the president to come and say, I've given this directive if these conditions are met, the managers of the president should expect that people will ask questions. And that was why, as at yesterday, people were saying, why has this directive not been carried out? It's not the job of the president to be engaged in a rhetorical philosophy. When the president speaks, we must see consequential action.
Yes.
So these are some of the concerns, and I raised this also last week, and I raised it again, and I said we'll try to see whether there will be consequential action. Well, let's see what happens this week. The federal government of Nigeria embraced coup. Some prominent agencies of government signed up onto that Indian app, right? But Kuku has not been able to make any major impact in Nigeria. And many Nigerians have migrated to VPN. So this is just like the no-fly zone across Zamfara, the ban of telecommunications in Sokoto State,
I have that story.
in Zamfara State. So to what effect?
Right.
Government must not act in vain. The president of Nigeria must not speak in vain. And I guess when all of this is over, there will be a proper calculation of the costs, both at the personal level and at the corporate level, and what would Nigeria have gained from it.
Well said, Dr. Abati. We'll take another story. On Sunday, Joe Igbokwe, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, accused the Indigenous People of Biafra of setting his house on fire in Anambra State. The chieftain, in a series of posts on his Facebook page, alleged that the closed-circuit television at his home captured the activities of the invaders. The Facebook post was, however, removed hours after it was published, following heavy criticism on the blogging site. This is quite horrific, Tundu. I mean, there's been a lot of issues in Anambra State following the build-up of the November elections. You remember, if you recall, was it a Friday that we took that story of Dora's husband assassinated, and also a lot of politicians have been killed in Anambra State. It's really sad. But then, the issue with Joe Igbokwe's comment on Facebook, blaming IPOB for the invasion of his home. And I guess the reason why he removed it was because he had all of those people attacking him and saying, you'll have to have proof before you can accuse IPOB of setting your house ablaze.
Well, it's people in Anambra are really having quite a torrid time.
Sad.
There was a fire in the DSS office, the Federal Road Safety Corps office. That too was set ablaze. And obviously now Joe Igbokwe's home. I'm really thankful that no lives were lost. Let's start there. But with regards to IPOB, you'll recall that he has accused them of making threats against his life and his family's life. So this is not the first time that he has accused them of threatening him. So I guess he deleted the post, not because he can't stand by it. I guess he was being intimidated or harassed, which is why he deleted it. Not that he doesn't feel that those are the perpetrators. There should be an investigation because this is arson. Arson is obviously a crime in
Yes.
Nigeria. We have section 443 of the Criminal Code. It's life imprisonment. So whoever is caught with, because he talks in great detail about how he has CCTV footage. If those people are identified, arrested, and prosecuted, they're facing life in prison. So those who come on his Facebook page to have a go at him or have a rant, that's really beside the point. He has those people on camera. If their faces are visible, then they are going to jail. That's really the bottom line here. And I just find it very sad. I do hope it's not a situation with IPOB, because while their aim is trying to secure the release of Nnamdi Kanu, he's the one who's in detention. He's the one who's locked up. Them running amok, saying that they're defending him, is actually putting him in a more precarious position, and I should know. People need to be very careful about how they're handling agitations when it's a political prisoner.
It can go out of hand.
It can at any time, and it cannot be reversed. We saw this happen. I experienced this.
Absolutely.
So I think that they really need to calm all the way down.
Right. Rufai, your take on the story.
We need peace in every part of Nigeria. We need peace in the East. Because if there's no peace, there's no development, there's no progress. We don't need killings, we don't need arson. For whatever it is and whoever is doing this, please stop. Charles Soludo, the governorship candidate of APGA in Anambra State, in India, Anambra, was talking about the fact that every Monday, businesses lose about 19.6 billion naira.
Wow.
Those
That's
are
a
monies
lot.
that can impact the economy and provide jobs for
Because
people.
of the sit-at-home order.
Yes.
Is that
Whatever it is, we need to stop this. Whoever might be in this, politicians, because we're hearing a lot of theories, please, let us stop this once and for all. Let us call for peace. You see, whatever disagreements we have, destruction, we only deepen the fault lines of those disagreements. Because where are we going to start from? We forget in a hurry. No matter vicious the arguments might be, we will still have to sit down on the table to solve it. During even the civil war, Nigerians still went to Ethiopia, the government side and the Biafra side, to sit and talk about peace negotiations. Whatever it might be, we will still sit down on the table and talk about it.
Well said, Rufai.
But when we have destroyed ourselves, we just deepen the lines and the hurt and the pain. Just imagine the children of Dora Kinyele. What memory do you want them to have of Nigeria? We can't continue like this.
Well said,
We
Rufai.
can't continue like this.
Dr. Bati, your analysis on this story.
Okay, very quickly. First, I think that Joe Igbokwe is a victim of political persecution because of the kind of politics that he plays. And he himself had expressed concern in that regard. Among many of his people in the southeastern part of Nigeria, he is considered a Yoruba Uncle Tom because, he's well entrenched in Lagos politics. He's a key member of the APC in Lagos State and even at the national level. He's a very close associate of key Yoruba political figures. He's currently special advisor to the governor of Lagos State on drainage, right?
Yes,
and
he
water
is.
supply.
Yes.
So because of that and the kind of statements he makes about Nigerian politics, he's not very well liked, by certain stakeholders in the eastern part of Nigeria. And I'm sure he himself understands that. However, every individual is entitled to the freedom of thought, of choice, of association. The fact that you are from a particular part of the country does not mean that you should be punished on the basis of your fundamental rights to make your own choice and live your own life the way you deem fit. So whoever is behind the touching of his house, that person is wrong. Nobody, whether Igbokwe or Shehu Sani or anybody at all, should be subjected to any kind of persecution or harassment, intimidation, erosion of the dignity of that person, on the basis of their beliefs and the choices that they have made.
Well said.
Well, that clearly shows that we're not sure whether it is IPOB. Comrade Emma Powerful, in a statement he issued last week, said they are not into arson. They are not into political persecution. Their main mandate of IPOB is the restoration of Biafra. But a new phenomenon has emerged in the East, which makes that part of the country really an area of concern.
Yes.
This emergence, proliferation, activism of a certain category called unknown gunmen. So we have unknown gunmen in the east, we have unknown terrorists in the northeast, we have unknown bandits in the Middle East. Now, if the country is taken over by all kinds of unknown agents of destruction, then that means that something fundamental is wrong. The point made by Tundu is valid. This must be investigated. He has CCTV evidence, and I hope that the security agencies would have the capacity, would deploy the capacity to get to the root of the matter and ensure that this does not become another unresolved case of criminality, because we have too many of such cases.
While we're on that case, I had a story about, the bandits that were writing letters in Sokoto State. Can you imagine? They've resorted to writing letters in Sokoto State.
You mean terrorists?
Terrorists, right. I mean, because of the shutdown of the telecom system.
Can you imagine? We have discussed this. Businesses are inconvenienced, individuals are inconvenienced, but the bandits are still finding a way to make contact with their victims.
Yeah, so they released one of the victims and sent to deliver the letter to...
So which means the idea of shutting down the telecom infrastructure is not working.
No, that's
what they have done.
They've now resorted
to find a
letter writing. That's what I'm saying.
They write a letter. They send one of the victims
to deliver the letter.
And deliver this letter.
Yes. So the businesses
but then who is going to respond to the letter, and where are they going to get
the traditional ruler in that particular affected community?
So people are just suffering for nothing.
Absolutely.
We've played with fire too much in this country. I just hope it doesn't come to play with us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. That's all I have for you on What's Trending today.
Thank you, Janex.
I'll see you
very
tomorrow.
Much. You said that color is custard.
Mustard.
Okay, I'm hungry. That's why I'm thinking of custard.